already finish your assignments, okay, you have a skill, and also you know how to calculate the real SM and also subnetting. So today I'm go for a real SM. Okay, so real SM last week already covered subnetting techniques. Okay, introduce to you a magic number. Let me go and do a recording first. So as I mentioned, let me wait until the recorded. So a number of students to attend for my lecture class is lesser and lesser as usual when the students completed the assignments and started to skip class. Anyhow, I know that it's almost end of the semester, still got another 1 week to go. Maybe you have an assignment you need to submit, you have a test need to be sit for the test, and so on and so forth. If your friends are absent from the class, you may ask him to view back my recorded video. So I'm going to share you this Jamboard over here. So I would like all of you, okay, if you are using a desktop, okay, please access to this Jamboard. Okay, who are not able to access to the Jamboard, okay, you may view from the screen here and knowing how the question will be going to ask in your exam. Okay, so in your final exam, they are not like your workbook. Not the question not seem like your workbook. Okay, so they may ask you a different way of asking a question. So you need to know the question, the patterns of the question to be asked in a final exam. So then you can score the mark, score this question. Okay, as I told you, these questions is always came out. Okay, always come out in a final exam, always come out one. Okay, definitely got one question will be up, either is real exam or either is class 2 subnetting, or both also can be both also. Okay, depends on your luck. Okay, sometimes it can be a 15 to 17 marks. Okay, 15 to 17 marks. So I'm going to off my camera so to let you focus on the Jamboard over there and learn the calculation and understand how to interpret the question, whether your calculations is correct or not, if you have done it or you do it together. Okay, you do it together and compare your answer with my answer. So now I'm moving to the Jamboard. Okay, so over this side. Now, first of all, I understood that by right, I should just focus on the question number D. So I also move to the question A, B, C. Okay, so see whether you are able to get the answers or not. So now, okay, not all the FOA questions are set by me. Okay, sometimes it's set by the previous, mean that the tutor who are teaching, okay, the branch tutor who are teaching for that course, and so on and so forth. Okay, so therefore, certain semester I may not teach this subject, I'm going to teach other course also. So therefore, not every question I have an idea how it's going to how the question is asked. So now I'm moving on to this question first. Okay, so first question. Okay, why I asked this question, okay, I mentioned this statement is because based on here, convert the foreign classroom binary address. It means that question over here should given you a binary number, should be a binary number, okay, to a dot decimal address. It means that this question should give you some 1111 something. Then from the number there, you convert it into the decimal number. But I do not know why this question came out is a dot decimal number already. This is a dot decimal format for IPv4 address. But we just focus on what he wants. Okay. By right here is one thing. Okay. Because here it says convert and here is identify. Mean that he have two things he need to do. But look like he already given you a decimal number. So how no point to convert it to the decimal format already because already in decimal format. Okay. So anyhow, we focus back to here, identify their class, network portions, and also the host portion. So based on here, because he's asking about identify the class, so therefore we will assume that this is an address is related to the classful address. So therefore, from this 188, it means that this is belong to the class B. Okay, and he wants you to identify the network portion. So because it's a class B, it means that in front these 2 byte, this 2 decimal value is referred to the network portion. So how you're going to write? So you should going to mention maybe in a new line. So you mention about network portion. So you give the answer is 188.11. Okay, you can give this number. Okay, or you can give x like that also can. Okay, you can give like that, or you put 0 also can. Okay, then after that for the host portion, you can give because it's a class B. So the answer is 0. So sorry. So it means that here is 0. Okay. You can put, once you put 0 as an example, okay, or you put x as an in front number there, then behind should be a 200.5. Okay. You can give this as an example. Okay. So very straightforward. This question very straightforward. Okay. So now this one 127 should be belong to class A Class A. So it means that for the network portion, a short form is 125.x.x.x. Then for a host portion will be a x 8.5.108. Okay. No. Nothing. So now we're moving on to this particular question. Okay, next question B. If the default gateway is talking about the router, if the default gateway, okay, is configured incorrectly on the host, mean that the host, okay, what happened? What is the impact on the communication? So mean that not the router problem. Okay, router have a default gateway. Now it's talking about your host, your PC. Your PC have configured a default gateway wrongly. What will be happen? So the answer will be first, okay, you should define what is the purpose of default gateway first, because it's a 6 mark. Okay, 6 mark impossible. You just write one statement or one sentence, then you can score 6 mark. 6 mark, because this one is appraisal, mean that you need to evaluate this statement. At least you need to give 2 to 3 sentences or 2 to 3 point with explanation. So first of all, I will explain what is default gateway. Okay, so I will mention about a default gateway is only acquired when the communication, when the host communicate with a device on another remote network. Okay, so that's why I will going to mention like that. So I will say default gateway is only acquired when the host communicate with another device on another remote, on another network or remote network. You are required to have a default gateway. I tell him. Okay, now move on. I give you the statement here. So he said that incorrectly. So if the host configures default gateway wrongly, it means that the host cannot communicate with the device on on another network. So I tell him cannot communicate. Okay. So then next thing, the third statement that I will going to mention is, okay, why just now I said that only communicate with the default gateway. Why we need to have a default gateway is because we need to communicate with the other network. We need to have a default gateway. So over here, he did not mention about whether you communicate with the remove networker or with the device on the same network. That's why I have another one statement indicated that if the host communicate with the host on the same network, default gateway is not required. Okay, therefore the default gateway configured wrongly for the host which he wanted to communicate with the device on the same network. There is no impact on it. So I'm talking about the impact on the remove network, and also the impact on the local network. Okay, so local network no impact, the remove network got impact. Then I tell him what is a default gateway. Okay, you can do the explanation is what is a default gateway. Okay, so what is the purpose that we wanted to have a default gateway? Okay, so this is a point to score 6 marks. So now I'm moving on to the next question. So given a network 172.111.100.0, so he have this network, given a network, this is a network address. What will be the custom subnet mask used if 6 host bit? Because over here, he did not give any prefix length, okay? Any prefix length, but he will going to say that what will be the custom subnet mask used if 6 host bits were available. So he said that you are required to show your working step clearly. So there is a different way. I told you previously last week, you have a different way of doing a calculation. Okay, doing a calculation. So you need to write down your step of calculate a subnet mask. Okay, so therefore here is 5 marks. So over here I will going to mention 172.111.100.0, and he mentioned about your 6 host bit. Let's say if only 6 host bit were available, so I will going to look for the last byte. Remember, we always have a bit from the last byte, which is represents a host bit. Okay, as I mentioned, on the right hand side, this one, okay, they are starting from the host portion, and the left hand side is from the network portion. So that's why over here is that they have a 6-bit pin were available. So therefore, I will going to look for the last byte rather than the third octet or second octet. No, we look from here. So I will expand this number back to the largest, to the bit, okay, over here. Okay, so clearly start. So over this side, he mentioned about you already keep, okay, 6-bit from available for the host. So 6-bit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hosts. So this one is a 6-bit. So therefore, in this case, if you have a 6-bit, you have a 6 host bit, it means that you can use 32 minus 6 is equivalent to 29. Oh, sorry, 29, but 26. So you have 26 for a network bit. Okay, so they have a 26 for network bit. So from this case, you are going to convert this 26 network bit into a subnet mask, custom subnet mask. So here will be a 8 plus 8 plus 8 then here have another 2 bits here. So that's why it's 8 plus 8, 38 plus another 2 is 26. So in this case, you convert it into the binary, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this is a binary in a custom subnet mask for the custom subnet mask. So in terms of a decimal value, so you have a 255.255.255.192. So the step, why he's showing you, asking you, require you to show the working step is because the working step will going to give you a mark. So here will be half a mark. Okay, so this is a calculation rather than you directly give if you directly give this particular custom subnet mask, okay, without the calculation, you only can score 1 mark. You will miss out all these 4 marks already. Okay, so is there any question from here? Anyone got a question? Okay, so share one more time for the link. Okay, all this done in hard written, yes, in handwritten. Okay, so just let you know, for diploma, they also have fundamental computer network, and degree for your group is also a fundamental computer network, but the code is slightly different because diploma. So the diploma student who are taking the fundamental computer network, they were able to get the credit transfer from the when he study a degree, so he no need to take this fundamental computer network. So if the student who are joining from diploma, he join the RSD or RIT, okay? So if their fundamental computer network in the diploma, their score B below B, okay, below B, they cannot get credit transfer. They must be have a B and above. So for the diploma, they are really need to struggling it. I mean that they need to know how to do a calculation. So in this case, both syllabus are the same. So diploma, you have a diploma, other tutor or to teach on that subject lah. So what I wanted to concern over here is even though diploma, they need to learn a fundamental computer network, and the method to access, we also using handwritten, okay, using paper. So there is no one good method. Some of them say, Mitchell, they are prefer using a Google Doc. They are prefer using Google Form. Okay, so Google Form and Google Docs actually have a different method, a different prom and con. Handwritten also have a prom and cons. So from here, okay, the tutor, I mean that the tutor from diploma and also the degree here, we agree, we have a discussion on that. We are using handwritten. All this done in handwritten, okay, in your paper. Then convert it into the PDF. Okay, so I come back to over here. Okay, I jumped too far already. So now I'm moving back to this question. I'm change the color, become a blue color, let you know that we are moving to another one. So now from this question, okay, is hidden. So last week, you cover about this one, talking about this question. I just want you to recall back what you have learned on last week. Last week we have done this question talking about that you given you this address, okay, 128.1777.0.0, and need to do a subnet. You need to create 60 subnet. He requires 60 subnet, and each of the subnet must be have 1,000 hosts. Usable host address. So this is a question. Have given you a very clear instruction, even though they do not asking you need to use classful subnetting. No, according to the question, you know that what method should be used. Okay, so now we're moving on to next question over here. So before next question, therefore, once you find out your magic number, if the classful subnetting, once you find out the magic number, you can use the magic number and do a plus, okay, to increase. As I told you, why we need to divide it by 256, actually we wanted to find out the magic number also. Okay, or I cross the line over here, I'm telling you that this particular byte, the second, not second, the third byte, the third octet over here are combinations of network portion and also the host portion. So therefore, when the value, when you modify the value, you should place the value on this particular byte. Okay, so that is the magic numbers, and the value will be affected, changing based on the line over here, the combinations of network portion and also the host portion. So by having a classful address, you can directly plus, okay, plus the magic number. And last week I already tell you why we call it a set. 4 is referred to 4 set of 256. Then you can generate 1024. So now we are moving on to next questions also. Okay, so over here, this question. So your company has set up a internet version, okay, IP lah, internet protocol version 4 network based on this number. So now he given you 172.38.0.0. So you know that this is belong to class B. Okay, so even though he didn't mention about that, we move on first. It required to provide a subnet. Okay, provide a subnet with 6,990 hosts per subnet. Okay, it means that this question is, I don't care how many subnet you're going to create for me, but I want each of the subnet over there, you must give 6,099 host usable host address. Okay, when he talking about this one, mean that is usable host address. I want 6,099. So based on this need, answer your following question. So therefore, on the first slide over here, I did mention to you that, okay, they are using a classful subnetting. So at that moment, he did not telling you the number of subnet he needed. He didn't tell you number of subnet he wanted, but he tell you the number of host addresses needed. Okay, so therefore, according to this particular question, we are moving on from here. Now, from this side, before you can understand how many subnet are created, first of all, I should going to answer here. Okay, I should going to think about how many bits I should going to keep. Okay, how many bits that I should going to keep. So if that is a 172.38.0.0, it means that I only looking at the last 2 bytes, because I'm looking at the host portion bits only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'm looking at the last 2 bytes. 172.38. Okay, will be the same. Okay, see whether you get the same result. So now, so you need to try, use your calculator, try, see how many bits you want. So same things, I'm going to use the calculator. I'm not a calculator, so therefore I cannot directly know what is the value is it. So that's why I'm trying. So I know that 2 powered by 10 is, 2 powered by 10 is 1024. Okay, that's 2 powered by 10 is 1024. So it means that I should be larger than 10. So I will try to use other value like 2 powered by 12. 2 powered by 12 is 4,000 only, not enough. I need to have a 6,000 here, 6,000 here. So therefore, I'm going to use 2 powered by 13. Okay, try. Okay, 2 power by 13. So 8192. So it means that I need to keep 13 bits. Okay, I need to keep 13 bits. So here have 8 bits, 8 bits, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I draw the line here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Sorry, I draw wrongly, count the bit wrongly. Give me a minute, So because I need to let you know where is a magic number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So usually I will draw the line. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, this line. Okay. So my magic number is, here is 32. This particular bit. Okay. My magic number is 32 over here. Okay. So therefore, how many bits that are remaining? Because here you need to think about the bit that you need to keep. Okay, so that's why I'm going to have a 2 power by 13. I will have 8, 9, 8, 192 just now. Okay, this is a total address. Minus 2, I got 8190. So I keep 13 bits. So that's why the remaining this bit, this is a bit that I'm going to keep. Keep for my host. Okay, to generate 18192 minus 2 address. Okay, so in front here, I still got a balance of another 3 bits that I did not keep. Mean that this bit I will move to the network portion. Okay, this 3 bits we're going to use it for my subnet, my network portion. So original, this is a host portion bit. Due to you just need to keep 13 bits, and the rest of these 3 bits you're going to give to the subnet, your network portion. So in this case, how many subnets are created? This answer is wrong, not 6. I think you're going to, who are answer this question, I think you're going to minus 2. Cannot minus, because this one no need to minus 2. Under the number of subnet you're going to create it, you no need to minus 2. No need minus 2. So here you have a 2 bit, 3 bit, mean that 2 power by 3 equivalent to X subnet. You created X subnet. This is the answer, not this one. So how many bits need to be borrowed to support the acquired subnet? So total up, you are borrowing. Now it's talking about borrow. No matter how, borrow still refer to the subnet portion, not refer to your this host portion. When he talking about borrow, he acquire to talk about the subnet. So that's why it's 3 bits. Answer here is correct. So how many usable host address per subnet? So after, because here talking about usable host addresses, so therefore I need to use 8192 minus 2, so to become 8190. Yes, this answer is correct. So now what is this new subnet mask? Okay, the new subnet mask. So I will have a 255.255. So these 3 bits to become a network portion already. So I will going to use 128 plus 64 plus 32 equivalent to 224.0, because the behind all these bits are host portion. So under the subnet mask here, I should give 0. So now I'm moving on. Any question from here? Are you still with me? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, can Okay, now, from here, there is another questions already. Before I'm moving on to here, so I will going to let you know if this question, because after this, I think I forgot to capture the doctor subnet mask, the address range and so on. So maybe it's only here. So now, from here already, by having a magic number, so your subnet 0, okay, here, yours, I add in another, maybe here lah. So rather than move other, your subnet 0 is 172.38.0.0 slash, no more slash 16 already. You should slash 16 plus another 3 should be 19. Okay, this is a subnet 0 network address. So then for the subnet 1, you have a 172.38. So remember the magic number is 32, and your line, the line cut between your network portion and your host portion is on the third byte. So that's why I'm using 0 plus 32. I get a 32.0/19. Okay, so this will be the subnet number 2. Okay, sorry, subnet subnet 1. So also we say the second subnet lah, second subnet. Third subnet, okay, the subnet number, always the Cisco using subnet 0 to refer to the first subnet. Okay, subnet 1 is a second subnet. Subnet 2 is a third subnet. So then I'm using 172 plus 38 plus, okay, 32 plus your magic number will be a 64.0/19. This is another subnet address. So every time you're going to plus with your 32. So 64 plus 32 will be 96 plus 0/19. So subnet number 4 will be 172.38.96 plus 32 will be 128 plus 0/19. Subnet number 5, 172 plus 32 will be 160.019. So every time and so on until you have subnet number 7. Let me finish it lah. Just have another 2 only. Okay. So 192.0/19, 172.38. Plus 224.0/19. Okay, so I should stop here already because subnet 0 until subnet 7 dotted up here, I got 8 subnet. So if you're using 224 plus 32 again, your answer is 224 plus 32. If you're going to plus 32, the answer is 256 already. It means that actually you affected to the another byte over here already. So that's why this one is not. You should stop here already. You should know how many bits that use to represent your network portion. So now I'm moving to the next another one question. This question is quite easy. Okay, quite easy. Okay, quite similar to your workbook exercise 1. Okay, so this question look like very small. Give me a minute. Okay, maybe I can enlarge a little bit. This one, never mind. So now he said that based on the given class C network address, okay, this number 200.100.15.0/24, you will going, okay, so from this line, create a addressing scheme which utilize a variable length subnet mask to show the network address, broadcast address, first usable address, last usable address for each subnet shown in here. So when we just now, the previous question or the last three question, all is referred to the classful subnetting. And when we come to the classless subnetting, usually, okay, they were going to tell you variable subnet masks. They will have clearly telling you the variable subnet mask. And this question already tell you this is a class C and it's a prefix length. So later on, I will going to give you another example. They did not give any prefix length one. So therefore, in this case, you should going to always start from the largest, okay, largest number of hosts required, then go to the smallest, okay. So therefore, from this particular value over here, particular diagram, not value, diagram over here, what I need to do here is I'm going to draw. He did not tell you how many subnets. So you must be defined, you must be able to define here is one subnet, here is another one, okay? Here is 1, 2, okay? And you are included here. So which ones I should going to do it first? I should going to do it from here. Number first one, 120. After 120, I should come to the library, okay? 30. Okay, after library, I should go for the admin, number 3. After the admin, I should go for the bursary. Okay, from bursary, then I should go for the head office, number 5. Then lastly, I will go for this is a wide area network. Okay, wide area network mean that router 1 and router 2 should be belong to a different stage. Maybe this one is in JB or this one is in JB headquarters and this one is belong to maybe is in Puchong, for example, different location, very, very far away. So that's why you have a wide area network, or one is in KL, one is in Penang. You can assume like that. So you're using a serial cable to join these two routers together. Definitely, you need to have an internet service provider to provide this particular connection for you. But in terms of connections of the wide area network, the IP address that you configure is belong to your local area network. Okay. So now I'm moving on to here rather than expand here. So first, he give you the subnet. So this one is a subnet name. The name. So you know that you need to start from the IT department. So you mentioned about IT, okay, lab. So you are not going to give me this subnet number, not like a previous year or subnet 0, subnet 1. No, this one you need to refer to the name of your department. Okay, you can use the switch number. Okay, you can prefer to use a department name. This should be a department name. So IT department. So then he give you the network address. So from here, let me going to adjust higher little bit. Yeah, one is adjusted. The thing is move. Okay. So so sorry, I did not do from here. So this one will be the IT. Okay, too small. IT lab. So the network address, we do first this one. Okay. So over this side, you expand here. Okay, if that is a class B here, the class C here is very easy to do. Okay, you understand that this is a class C original. Okay, you already have /24 is a network portion. So you expand this particular bit, this particular byte into a bits portion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can expand this number. So from this particular portion here, you need to think about VLSM, bit to keep. Okay. First day of this mean that for this topic, I'm talking about bit to keep over here. How many host bits that I need to keep to ensure that you have this number of host address. It's different from here already. So therefore, I'm moving back to here. So because you want to have 120 usable IP address. So in this case, I'm going to keep 7 bits. Okay. because 7 bits over here, okay, I have a 2 power by 7. I will able to get 128. Okay, I will have 128. Okay, so in this case, what is your network address from this one? Network address. So when you put network address or subnet address are the same. Okay, are the same. And then slash CIDR is the prefix length. You mean that you need to give a prefix length at the same time. So therefore, over here, I will give 200.100.15.0/. So you understand that this particular, you keep 7 bits for your host portion. The remaining 1 bit, this bit you don't want, you give it to the network portion. So original network portions already have 24 bits. You plus with this bit, it means that your prefix length will be a 25. So that's why it's 25. Okay. Due to the spacing over here, I should going to fill up complete number, but because of the table here is very small and the screen here is very small, so I very hard for me to fill up the whole answers. So remember, should be complete answer, complete network address. So this one should be okay. So this is the top one. Top one. So now to find out the broadcast address and the last usable address, actually I based on this magic number, this line magic number. What is the magic number from this moment? My magic number is here. One here is 128. So that's why I'm using 0 plus 128. My answer here is 128. So when I have, because it means that you need to have a total 128 addresses. 0.0 is one address. That's why your dot 127 here is your last address. It's a broadcast address. And here will be dot 126. This is a part over there. By right, you should have a full numbers. Okay. Okay, full address. Not only 126 or 127. Full address. So this is a 128. So magic number. You can use the plus, but you only can plus at particular subnet to get the new address, for the next subnet. So therefore, from here, I'm going to use another one color. So from another one side, I'm going to do a library already. So that's why I have a library here. So library, you know that you start from 128. This is your starting address, your network address. But you need to count how many bits that you need to keep to have 30 usable host address. So in this case, my number now, you can delete all this thing. You can delete this magic number, this one. Okay, get back your original. Bits here. Then you think about how many bits you need to keep. So I need to keep 8. Oh, sorry, not 8. Yeah, I should keep 5. Okay, I should keep 5. Reason is, if I'm going to keep 5, 4, 5, here 5. So 2 power by 5. I keep this 5 bit. So 2 power by 5, I got a 32. 2 power by 5, I got a 32. Okay, I got a 32 address minus 2, just enough. I will have a 30 usable host address, same as this, just enough. So it means that in front these 2 bits, so not 2 bits, in front these 3 bits here, these 3 bits, I don't want. Okay, you give it to the network portion, pass it to the network portion. So you just keep. So then what is the magic number? My magic number here is 32. Okay, my magic number under this bit position value is 32. So now what I need to do here is I calculate the prefix length. So I'm using back the original 24. Remember, not using 25 to plus. I'm using the original 24 24 plus the bits that I don't want, mean that 24, 25, 26, 27. So over here, my prefix length is 27. Okay, so now I'm going to use the magic number. So you know that this is a 32. It means that you need to have 32 addresses. Okay, because you keep 5 bits. So that's why I'm using 128. I'm using 128 plus 32. I will get 128 plus 32. I will get 160. So this number is referred to the next value. Next one. Mean that it's a because from 128, from this 128, this number onward, you need to have 32. Okay, from 128 until 1.159 total up, you have 32 address. Remember, 128 already is one address. Then you plus 32, mean that this value is a new address for your another new subnet. Okay, remember, total up you have 32 and your starting address is 128. Here already new address. This one is a new address. So you plus 32, it means that actually you get another new address which is belong to the subnet number. Okay, for your next subnet number. So is that okay for this part? So therefore, you will have this number. I want you to understand how to use the magic number. So from here, I will have 159. So this one is 158. This one should be 129. So I know very messy because it's very small. Very small. So I hope you understand that. So total up here, I should have a 32 addresses. So then we are moving on to others. You do a calculation. So /24 is more easily. You can do calculation onto that. Okay. So then next, this is a .160. So I should use for emission. So this one should be used for emission. I change to another color. Emission. So my number is 160. Okay. So now you need the 20. So if that is a 20, it means that you still need to keep 32. You still need to keep 5 bits to have 32. So that's why over here, I still using 160 plus 32. I will get 192. So this 192 will be the new address for another new subnet. 192. Okay. So same thing, you're still going to keep 5 bits for the host portion. It means that 3 bits over here you will going to use for a network portion. So that's why here I still have a prefix length /27. /27. So over this side, you understand, just now I did mention 160 is one address and you have 32 address. So then you plus the magic number 32, actually 192 is a new address for another range already. That's why I write 192 in a new tape, another new row. Okay, just to keep for another subnet. Okay, so by having this, you should know this one is 161, and you should know here this one is 191, and here should be 190. Okay, so I do a reverse reverse engine to go back to the broadcast address and the last usurper address. So now I'm moving to the bursary. Bursary, this one. So under here, I write bursary. Okay, I write a bursary over here. So under the bursary here, how many bits I need to keep? So remember here is 15. You cannot keep 4 bits. If you say that you keep 4 bits, 2 powered by 4, you only have a 16 usable host address. It's not enough. -2, you only got 14 usable host address. It's not enough. So in the bursary over here, we still need to keep 5 bits. So the concept is you still need to keep 5 bits. So 192 is the address that your starting address. You keep a 5 bit, mean that your remaining of the bit network portion still given for the still same 27. So mean that I'm using 192 plus 32 because my magic number still remains as 32. So in this case, I will have a 224 will be a new address. So reverse back, here will be 223, here will be the 222, and here will be the 193, this thing. Okay, so now moving to the head office. So head office over here will be 10 usable host address. So in this case, I should keep 4 bits, 16. Okay, so in this case, I delete this part. Okay, now I show you the latest magic number here. Okay, I'm going to keep 4 bits. So I keep 4 bits. So 4 bit, my magic number is 16 here. So this number 16, I'm going to keep 4 bits. You will get 16 host address. So these 4 bits I don't want, I'm going to give for the network portion. So 24 plus 4 here will be a /28. Okay, used for head office. This one for a head office. Okay, so then you know that you keep 4 bit, you have 64. Sorry, you keep 4 bit, you have 16 address. So now you have 224 is your network address. So you plus 16, 224 is your network address, one of your network address. So then you plus 16, you get a 240. Okay, so if let's say you don't plus 16, you plus 15. Okay, you don't use magic number, you're going to -1 from your this magic number, mean that you get the broadcast address. Okay, but now I'm going to get plus 16. I use the magic number here, plus 16, I will have a 240. So the 240 is a new address for the new my network, new address for the next network, next subnet. So then from here, I will have a 239, and here will be have a 238, and here will be have a 255. Sorry, not 255, yeah. 225. Sometimes you'll be accidentally write a wrong numbers. Please double check your number. Please double check your numbers. So then last one here, even though he did not mentioning what is a usable host address that you need to have, but because of a wide area network, you need a 1 usable address over here, 1 usable address over here. Actually, you just need to have a 2 usable address plus your broadcast address and also the network address. Total up, you need to have a 4 addresses. So that's why you just need to keep, in this case, you need to keep 2 bits. 2 bit, you will get 4 address. Okay, so therefore here is all the while you will have 30. Okay, unless you have other network topology diagram. So this one will be 241. Here will be a 242. Here will be a 243. Okay, so this is an example there. Okay, so I'm moving on. Okay, I'm moving on to next one. Let you have an idea. Okay, now give me another minute. I want to show you this part. This one, this way, the way is asking is quite similar to your workbook. Okay, quite similar to the workbook. Okay, and they're giving you the office. Okay, office ABC, and here is the usable host address, and then here given you this number. Okay, so over this question, they did not telling you what is the prefix length. So in this case, we are based on here. Okay. Due to this question, they did not give any prefix length for you. Therefore, you need to assume that this 172 is a class B lah. Is a class B, and then the prefix length is /16. Prefix length is /16. Okay, class B 172. So from here, you need to then from this number just now I mentioned 2.16.0.0. So expand this 2 byte into the bit portion. Always think about keep. Okay, and I wanted to tell you that this question didn't tell you whether using real assembler or using a classful subnetting, but according to this method, because each of the office they're having a different number of usable host address, so therefore in this question you should using VLSM. So therefore, not every time the question will going to tell you, oh, you must be using classful address or you must be using a VLSM. Not necessary. So for this example, so you must able to interpret the question and what method should be going to use. And here is 14 mark. So if you know how to do a calculation, it's very easily to score this 14 marks on your hand. Okay. So now, just go and move on from this question, okay? Just move on to this question, how we are going to do this. So, easily, so from here, I expand the numbers already. I already tell you, original is a prefix length of /16. So now, I always need to think about keep. How many bits I need to keep to ensure that I got 2555 this usable host address. So in this case, I'm going to keep 12 bits. So remember, I'm keep 12 bits. I'm going to keep this 8 bits, not enough. Power by 10, I only got 1024. So I need to keep 12. So I draw the line and telling you that my magic number here is 1, 2, 4. Magic number here is 8. You can see magic number. So in this case, this is a magic number. I draw the line. Why I keep 12? If you're going to have a 2 power by 12, I will have 4096. Okay. So if I going to 2 power by 11, I only got 2048. Not enough. Not enough for my numbers. So that's why I need to keep 2 power by 12. I have this number. So, so just now you will able to say, hey, Michelle, why you always draw the line and show me the magic number? Last week you showed me about divided. So you also can use the divided method to get back your magic number. So divided by 256, because you use up the entire byte. You can see this one, you use up the entire byte for your host portion. So that's why I'm divided by 256, because total up you have 256 addresses for the entire byte. So that's why I get back 12 9 16 so 8 9 10 11. Yeah, I draw wrongly my line. Sorry about that. That's why because I'm divided by 256, my magic number here is 16, but here is 8. That means that I draw my line wrongly. Actually, I'm not in the purpose to draw wrong line. Actually, I count wrongly, no. So I make a mistake. Same as you may have a mistake also. Michelle make mistake during my lecture class. You possible also make mistake. So therefore, I luckily, not therefore, luckily I'm using divided method to double check my magic number whether correct or not. the magic number that I have correct or not, because I draw wrongly. So here is 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, 12. Okay, so my magic number is 16, not 8. Okay, my magic number is 16. Okay, according to here, 16. So therefore, by having this magic number 16, is very easily for me that I have confidence to write 172.16.0.0, because here already include. You must be clearly understand here address range. He's not asking about usable host address range. He have mentioned address range, which is include the subnet address and also the broadcast address. So that's why I will have this number 2. Okay, hold on that. So the magic number is 16, and the byte are affected is the byte number, your third byte. So that's why I'm using the 0. I'm using 0 plus 16. I get 16. So that's why my new address range here is 172.16.16.0, because the network address for the host portion bit all 0. That's why I straightforward put 0 already. I no need to think about that. I only need to think about that the magic number, the byte that belong to the under the magic number here, that is the byte value need to be changed. So due to this reason, I look for my broadcast address 172.16. Okay, so what is the number over here? Remember, your magic number here is 16. It means that before your magic number will be 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1. So will be a 15. Straightforward, you're using 16 minus 1. That is a 15. This line, we are talking about here. This number. Okay, so here is 15. This number. Okay, so then for the broadcast address, host portion bit all set to 1. That's why here is 255. And what is the prefix length? Remember, CIDR is referred to the prefix length. So prefix length over here, original is 16. Now you have these 4 bits you don't want. So to give to the network portion. So that's why it's 16 plus 4 will be a /20. Not enough space. That's why I put right in another space over here. Exit to the table space over here already. So this is a part over there. So I hope you understand. So now I'm going to try to do these 2 office B and C for you. Then I give you a break. So now continue. Don't give me another minute only. So then I come to the new subnet already. Okay, so I delete this one. I get back this. Okay, now next thing, I'm going to move on to the next part. Okay, next part. So under the next part here, he mentioned about you need about 2011 usable host address. So in this case, just now I saw the number is 2 powered by 11. I got 2048. So it means that I need to keep 11 bit. So I'm going to keep 11 bits. I will have this 2048. Okay, from here. So here is 8 bit. Make sure I count correctly. 8 bit, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm draw the line here. So what is my magic number? My magic number here is 8. This moment is 8. Okay, my magic number is 8. So straightforward, I know that, or you can use the calculator, divided by 256 equivalent to 8. Okay, so now this 8, how you're going to count this 8? So remember, this is a magic number that you're going to plus it to get a new address. So now this is a octet number 4, number third octet, mean that this number. Use back this number. Okay, this number. So you're using 16 plus 8, you were going to get 22. Sorry, 24. Not 22. 24. So that's why over here is 172.16.24.0 because the entire byte over here is for a host portion. Network address, host portion bit, all 0. Okay, so then I move back to the in front. So I want to find out the broadcast address. So 172.16, remember 24 minus 1.23. Why is 23? You're going to think about here. This part is what? Over here is 1, 2, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 4. So you need to minus your number. Actually, you minus here. Minus from here will be better. Okay, 24 minus 1 will be a 23. So from after this part, you will have a 255, and the prefix line will be a /16 plus this 5 bit. Okay, plus this 5 bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 /21. Okay. Hope you understand. Okay, I think your tutor will also using the same method like me lah, huh? So the rest are quite similar already. So this one also is /2021 because it's 1020. So you cannot keep 10 bit. You still need to keep 11 bit. Okay, from this case, this one still keep 11 bit. So I'm using 24 plus 8. I will have a 24 plus 8, I will have a 32. 172.16 to, okay, this one is 172.16.31.255/21. Okay, so this one is 550. 550, I should going to keep 10 bits. 2 power by 10, I will have 1024. So that's why 10 bits over here, 10 bits, my magic number here will be, if that is a 10 bit, my magic number is 4 already. So I'm using 32 plus 4 will be a 36. Because my magic number still belong to the third octet. So that's why I modified my third octet hexadecimal number 172.16.0, okay, to something, okay. So then this one, I need, this one still /22. This one is /22. I lazy to count the broadcast address for you. So this one is 400. 400, I should keep 9 bits, okay, 9 bits. So 9 bits is over here. The number here is 9 bits. Maybe I change another one value. So 2 power by, I'm not sure whether you're still with me or not. 2 power by 9 is 512 lah, huh? 512, okay, divided by 2 power by 9, okay. 512 divided by 256 will be 2 lah. The magic number is 2 there. Okay? Magic number is 2. So that's why I'm still using 36 plus 2 will be a 38. Because the magic number still under here. Okay? Divided by 2, 8, 9. Okay? My magic number is here, 2. In front this number 2. So 172.16.10.2. So do something. So my prefix line here is 16 plus all these 7 bits will be 23. Here is 23. Okay. This one also 23. Okay. 23. This one also keep 9 bits. So this one is 32 bit. So suddenly you can see office number G is go for the 31. So because of 31, I'm going to keep 6 bit. I cannot keep 5 bit now. If you keep 5 bit, is 2 powered by 5 equivalent to 32 minus 2. I only got 30 usable host address. It's not enough. 5 bit cannot. I need to keep 6 bit. So that's why I'm going to keep 6 bit. My bit pattern here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I keep 6 bit. Now my magic number is on the fourth octet here. So my number here is 64. Can see that my magic number is 64. So therefore, for Office G here, my number here 172.16.38. No change. Okay, still over there. Sorry, this one I should count this one first. I should count this one first. I forgot to count this one. Okay, don't be too fast. Then I forgot the numbers, because I jumped from the Office F, you know. So this one I still need to keep. 9 bit. So that's why 39 plus a magic number 9 bits over there. So I need to have here is 40. Here is 40.0. From this 40.0, I need to think how many. My magic number here is 64. So that's why I will have 172.16.40.64 is a new address. Okay, not using, okay, to 172.16.40.63/26. This is a part over there. Okay, we still have a few questions. So I'm not going to do it. You can try, you can copy this, you can download this particular Jambox over here, and you do the calculation. Before I give you a break, you can have a look of this question. This question, they don't tell you class, what is the class is it, but you can see this number is /24, 23. Okay, it means that this address actually have been subnetted already, and he remaining /23. You must be follow this prefix length, how many bits used for the network portion and how many bits still remain for the host portion to do a subnetting for the following question. So I give you to do it. Okay, so if you want the answer, you contact me. Okay, you contact me. Okay, if you do it. Okay, and this is the same question. This one is the same question. Okay, it's the same, because just now I wanted to see the diagram, let you see the diagram, because the diagram is too small. Okay, so that's why I drag the diagram, I duplicate the question and let you have a look of this diagram. And you need to understand here have 6 subnets. You need to do a subnetting according to the sequence you need to determine. This one is quite similar to the past your workbook question, but here is 17 mark, you can see. And remember, beside the 17 mark, if you're not able to count the subnetting via SM subnet, you are not able to score 17 mark, you will lose 4 mark also, you will lose 2 mark also. These all are related to the same question. So it means that one question can be maximum go to 24 marks, okay, for one subnetting question. So therefore, who still do not understand how to do subnetting, please ask your tutor or approach me, come to WhatsApp, not WhatsApp, email me or Google chat with me. You need to have a consultation hour to do a calculation to confirm your calculation whether correct or not. You can do so. Hopefully, once you do your assignment, if your assignment do it by yourself, not your team member, you should know the two methods. And next week, you will have a replacement class. Remember next week, Next week, I already posted the notice announcement, okay, to all of you already. So your week, this week is week 11. So next week is week 12. So week 12 Tuesday, you will have this replacement class. Okay, replacement class. Due to your week 13, you will have a e-practical test. Okay, week 13 will be e-practical test on your morning like lecture class. Then that's why I will have a replacement class on Tuesday on week 12, okay, from 6 to 8 o'clock. After 8 o'clock, I will going to have a e-briefing and tell you how the practical test format and what you need to do, okay, what you need to submit, how the question look like, what you need to do for your configuration, all these things. Under, I will brief you on next week, Tuesday. Next week, Tuesday, after 8 o'clock, 8 to 8:30. Okay, please come to the replacement class or additional class over here. So I should call it additional class. So I give you a 5 minutes to have a break. Okay, so these two questions mean that over here, these two questions, I'm not going to discuss with you. You can do it by yourself. Okay, once you understand, you do it by yourself and you can compare my answer if you want to know it. So I'm stop here for you to have a break, 5 minutes. Come back at 9:20. For Calvin, your questions I will going to answer you later on after we come back. If you have any question, you can write on the chat there. I will going to answer you. Okay, any question you want to ask? So, Kelvin, answering your questions, just now, you have this kind of calculations over here. Okay, so you are not necessary to show me all this calculation step. You no need. So you can directly draw. Mean that you need to redraw this table on your question paper, and you fill up the space here, the blank here. You fill up the space here. Okay, so you must be follow the format given on the table. Okay, because over here already mentioned show in the table 3-1. You cannot create your own table. You must be follow this format. Same thing from this question also. Okay, you can see or not, you are required to show your answer using the following table format. So you also need to redraw this format, this table format on your A4 paper, and you fill up the complete IP address. Not like here .292.129 only. It's a complete IP address. Not like here, because I just wanted to save my time. Okay, and the space here is small. So you need to redraw here. So all these calculations, you did not write it, the step here, how to do a calculation, you no need to give. Okay. Okay. But if the question are showing like over here, have given you, you are required to show your working step clearly. If you saw this statement over here, it means that you definitely need to have this particular step. Show the step, must have the step. Okay, else you will lose your mark. Okay, so just now I already mentioned to you that this one, this question I posted here, I selected this question. This is also a past year exam questions. So I selected this question here. I just want you to understand that. Okay, understand that there not necessary all the while you are looking at here. Okay, not necessarily all the while you're looking, oh, Mitchell, this one is 172. 172 is a class B. Okay, no, we are not looking at here. We are looking at the prefix length. Okay, here is /23. All the while you are /24, easily /24, but now it's /23. So how you do a subnetting for all this block, okay, in one in the subnet. So you're going to calculate. Okay, so you need to consider. And sometimes the question not only a table form, not like just now the example here, oh, everything is table form, very easily, then you can score 14 marks. But from this question, he just wants you to write down the subnet address table, subnet name, okay, subnet address and broadcast address. Here 8 mark. Okay, definitely for this block A until the D lah. Block A until the D lah. So from there, you still need to answering a block D question. Okay, certain question regarding to the block D. Okay, regarding how many wasted IP addresses is not used, and so on and so forth. So that's why sometimes may not only one table, you have other questions you may need to ask, that you need to answer it, not ask, answer it. So this one, okay, like this question, I think I did not record. I did not record. Give me a minute. Okay. While waiting, okay, I'm going to copy today this particular attendance, quiz for attendance. Okay, for chapter 6.1, we are going to a chapter 6. Okay, attendance. So come back. So I don't want you to lose any marks. Okay, I hope everybody can score a calculation part. It's easily for you to score. So for this question, he given you a /24. Well, look like very simple or real SML. Very good question. But from here, he given you a diagram, the diagram here, okay? So he did not tell you the sequence, and this diagram, the challenging here, you may have this particular router, okay? Here, this one is belong to the subnet number 5, can see or not? So this is a subnet number 5, okay? So you need to determine over here, and here have mentioned the switch, okay? Here, assume that the layer 2 switch use a subnet in the subnet file is without any configurations of virtual local area network. He don't have any VLAN. So it means that from this subnet number 5 here is 1 address, 2 address, 3 address, and 4 address. It means that he need to have a 4 usable address. Okay, 4 usable address plus your broadcast address and your network address total up, you need to have a 6 address for this subnet file. So then over here already tell you you need to be a subnet from 1 to 6. So here have a to external network. This external network is go for the router. Sorry, not router, your internet service provider. Your internet service provider will given you the address for your port over here. So this one you no need to do any subnet. Internet service provider, he will going to he will going to do his own subnetting. Okay. And some of them you will going to say that, hey, Miss Chow, why is the address is not always is a private address. They can use a public address to do a subnetting also. Okay, for example, this address, any address, 220, 200. If you look at the broadcast, if this one is a classroom address, if this is a classroom address, 200 is belong to a class B lah. Class B lah, not class B. A is 0 to 127, B is 128 to 191. Okay, this one is belong to a class C, okay, but it's a 200. It's not a private address, but because it's using VRSM, okay, so this is a part over there. So anyhow, calculation methods, your calculation part you need to score, okay. So you try to do it rather than I discuss one more time. If I already explained few questions, I think you will feel bored already. Okay, you feel that Micha already know how to do a calculation. Okay, so I hope everybody can score this question. If you still have doubt on this question, you just come and make appointment with me. Okay, so anyhow, we just go through, let you know under the chapter 8, the subnetting IP address over here. Actually, I already done. Okay, just telling you that I already told you the broadcast domain, why we need to do a broadcast, the reason, how to do subnetting according to a different unit or different device or different location. Can base on location, can base on organization unit, can base on the device type. So then this all is regarding to the subnetting, the binary value I already explained in 2 weeks ago. Okay, then have a video to do a subnetting, and then if you're still not clear, you can watch back you can view this video. Okay, this video added over here. You can play this video. Okay, to look for subnet. Okay, how to borrow the bit and so on. All these things are the same.
This video.
Okay, this one is a magic number that last 2 weeks already mentioned to you. So you can use this as an example. And here, given you a different subnetting, you wanted to create a 2 subnet, then your prefix length will be /24. This is a class C. Okay, all these things actually has been explained to you already. Okay, by your tutor or by me and so on. So this one is a formula how to calculate the subnet. Okay, so it must be 2 powered by how many bits you're going to borrow. Then this one is calculate how many hosts that you have. You must have a 2 powered by n-2 because you're talking about number of hosts. Okay, number of usable host addresses that you have. So this is create 4 subnet addresses and so on. All are the same. Okay, So then a different method. So this is a prefix length, class A and class B. Just now already show you, okay, to determine the class and so on. All are here, okay. Once you understand the calculation, you can skip all this slide already. So subnet requirement, okay, this one private and public address just now already mentioned to you, okay. So so you can see over this one just for your idea, not important one, it's just for your idea. So from here you were able to know that these two servers look at here, we put under the internet called, okay, we put these two servers belong to the public IP address. And then we arrange all this even though here got one server, but this server is used for the local, for our internal use. So that's why we are going to make it as under a private address. So sometimes when you design a network, okay, we need to design according to the devices and the access, who are the one who access. So we have an intranet, okay, and then we have this particular use for the public one, okay. So public address space, so depends on your design of your network. So all these things, okay, this chapter all is calculations one, numbering, all this calculation. And the VRSM, just now we already saw the numbering, how you calculate, how many bits you're going to keep and so on. So then by having a VRSM, you can create smaller portions of the address, okay, for the subnet and so on, okay. So nothing special from this part. So the check, remember your workbook, behind of your workbook, they have a real SM check, the tables, okay, for you to referring. So in a face-to-face exam, definitely you can't bring your workbook lah. But in our online final year assessment, is an open test, so you can turn on your workbook. You can open your workbook, okay, to check your addresses and so on. If you're still not able to calculate, okay. So this one all we're not going to test you. This is more on planning your addresses, okay. You must have a proper plannings and do documents, okay. Let's say like this one, when you do, so just like over here, network address planning. So from this question here, under this, okay, addressing scheme, okay. From here, you have a student local area network, you have a faculty local area network, and the admin local area network. So how you're going to assign your IP addresses, okay, according to what? So then we need to plan. We need to plan of our addresses. So each host in the internet network must have the unique address. So, and then we need to plan about proper documentation. So that's why your assignment, you must have your addressing table, must have your subnetting table in your document, okay, to plan your networks. Okay, so must provide a control by having addresses. Okay, you must be provide a control and access to the server. Who can access to the server from the internal host or from the external host? So therefore, you can see just now I show you this particular diagram here. This particular diagram, I know that I'm jumping here and there. Don't worry. I just wanted to show you this part. Just now I given you. Because this server are accessing for the external user. Okay, it's an external user. Allow external user to access from the internet to your network and use for this. Maybe this is a web browser, web server and so on. So if you are putting these two servers together with your local network, the intranet, so there will be a danger. It means that you allow your this external, okay, user. Remember, potential, the external user can be your hacker also. Okay, so they can be hack your server easily if you did not split your server from use for the public and use for private. Okay, maybe this one is a private. This server is a private server only used for internal intranet. Is used for intranet, like for example, for the internal use, maybe this server is for exam. exam result. Okay, so your exam, your result, 它 use exam database server. So for example that. So in this case, you put it together to the public server, and it means that when the hacker can hack inside this network, your public, your this one exam server also can be exploit it to the can be accessed, can be chances to access to this server, exam server is easily already. So that's why sometimes you, when you design your system, your network, you are not only think about how many usable host address we need for our network, placing your network onto the uh, onto your network, the device onto your network, you also need to consider on that. So this is a part that I wanted to mention to you. Not only think about, oh, these particular networks they need to have a 30 usable host address, then I'm going to keep 5 bits only for my host. But you also need to consider, okay, the design before. Actually, it's before you doing any design, okay, assign any IP address. Actually, you also need to think about the security, okay, in terms of control access, okay, control access, because they are using IP address to access to your, okay, to your this server, and you need to have your router also need to have this access control list. That is an access control list will be in higher level, and then you also need to have a AD, active directory, to filter up who is a user, what kind of this user, what they can going to do. They have a active directory need to be implemented in your network. Quite a lot of things need to be implemented, okay, in your network. Not only the IP address, not only your IP address. So that's why you need to monitor your security and performance of the host. So mean that network traffic is examined from the source IP address that generating and receiving excessive packet. We need to monitor our network, just not only perform. So usually for the end user client, usually we're going to turn on the DHCP, just ensure that they can save the time and menu. No need to have a manually going to configure it, but it depends on your network configuration. Not necessarily all the while we are using DHCP. We still, certain end user device, we still using a static IP address. So definitely for the server, we are using static IP address. We configure a static IP address, okay? And definitely under your router there, we need to configure a NAT, network address translator, to translate your private address to the public address. This to for the server to be accessed by the public user, okay? So then intermediate devices, usually we have configured an IP address in our router, our switches, okay, which we can able to remove access, remove management. That's why most of your switch, you will have a VLAN, okay, virtual local area network, which we are going to use it for remove management, okay. Then definitely we have a gateway for the router. So this is a part. So this one is an extra information telling you that you are designing for a IPv6. So IPv6 also can do subnetting, okay, over here, the number under this part, under your global prefix over here. Your interface ID still remain 64 bits over here. This bit, 16 bit is used for subnet ID. Just for your knowledge, in your exam or in your packet, in your final exam, or in your practical test, they won't come out this IPv6 calculation for you. No, just for your idea, they can do subnettings. The diagram are the same, but just a differences between the value is a hexadecimal value. Then you do a configuration according to the subnet value that you given for that you have been calculated for you. So I'm going to move on without wasting time. I'm going to move on to the chapter number 6. Okay, chapter number 6, we come back to the network layer. So after chapter 6, we still have a chapter number 9, transport layer, chapter number 10, application layer. Okay, we still got 3 chapters need to go for these 4 weeks. Okay, so now we are moving to the chapter number 6 over here. So I understand I still got another few minutes only. So now under the network layer, we're talking about a protocol. Okay, for the network layer, protocol means is the IP address, logical address. Okay, packet. We use this packet. Okay, so now under the network layer, they have a 4 process. This 4 process must be complete. Okay, to provide this 4 process as processor. So first of all, the process, the network layer must give this process is the network layer protocol, mean that IPv4 and IPv6. This protocol, these 2 protocol must be able to give addressing. Remember, the addressing here is referred to the IP addressing must be unique to identify purposes. Okay, and under the network layer, they need to do the encapsulation. They still need to do the encapsulation. So the data passing from the transport layer must be able to add in the additional header, okay, to become a packet from the segment to become a packet. This is a segment. Segment passing down to the network layer. Network layer must do the encapsulation to add in the additional information to become a packet to the header. Okay. So that's routing. Remember, even though your PC is not a router, your PC is not a router, but your PC must be know that to determine they need to pass the data, the packet from the PC, whether should be go to the remove network. Okay, if the packet is belong to the remove network, your PC must know that I need to pass it to the router. So if the PC that generate a packet and the packet is sent to another device on the same network, the PC must be know where to pass it. So that's why under your PC, they have a routing table. Your router also have a routing table. Therefore, over here, the routing. So it means that the device, they must be at the network layers there. The device must be able to use the network layer service, the process, to direct the packet to the other network, whether on the same network or whether should be remove network, pass it to the default gateway. It depends on the service provided by the network layer, and the network layers will going to process it and help you to passing the packet to the correct location or to the router or to the destination device if they are belong to the same network. So definitely now the encapsulation process is talking about your end device or your router side. Your router will do the de-encapsulation for your packet to check the header information in the packet and determine where to route your packet. Okay, so therefore you need to have a de-encapsulation. Either is determine where to route the packet and then re-encapsulation again, or already reach to the final destination. If let's say is the packet is a broadcast message, so everybody are send to everybody will receive this broadcast message. So it means that each of the device must do the encapsulation to check the packet, look for the IP address, the destination IP address, whether it's matched with its own IP address or not. If no, then the packet will drop. If yes, it means that the packet is belong to it. So these are the 4 processes need to be performed at the network layer. So then we move on to here. Just wanted to tell you that encapsulation process will be performed. Okay, will be performed at this receiver. Okay, the address over here, the receiving, the destination device over there. So that's why under here, the passing down, then you pass it to the router. So router also, just now they mentioned, router need to determine the routing, and then they need to determine the encapsulation and de-encapsulation, because you need to changing the addressing, changing the data to ensure the data can reach to your final destination device. So then, as you know, now we are going to look at the format of the IP address. So usually the format is just for your knowledge, okay? Not really tested you in your final exam, okay? So just wanted, usually it's asked about what is the advantage of IPv6 and IPv4 rather than the detail of the header information, no. So anyhow, just want to give you the idea is, there is a several network layer protocol, but commonly to be implemented in our network is IPv4 and also IPv6. We also have an old IP, we also have an old network protocols, okay? So, but we are not discussed over here because already it's old, okay? This one, IPS, Apple Talker, all this is an old protocol, not using already. We are using this unless you have a very, very old network. So now we're coming back to over this side, okay, encapsulating the IP address. So just now I did mention the IP header are stay at the same from the source to the destination host. So I did mention IP address will not be changed in your header, okay, IP header. So the router will implement different network layer protocol concurrently over the network and use the network layer packet headings for header for routing. So the one router may not only implement IPv4, they can implement IPv6 at the same time. So that's why previously you learned about IP addressing, your chapter number 7, you learned about IPv4 and also IPv6 is concurrently coexist in a network. So they need to have a migration, if you're able to recall back. We have a translation migration, we have dual stack migrations, and then we have another one called, we have this called, hold on, give me a minute. So we have a translation, this one, this part, talking about the migration over here. Okay. Okay. Here, migration, tunneling. Okay, we have a tunneling, we have a translation, just now I did mention, then we have a dual stack. So I missed out the tunneling. So these are the IPv4 and IPv6 can be coexist together. So usually a question will ask this type of question. So this is a part over there. So I come back to the chapter number 6. So therefore, this is talking about, this sentence just wanted to let you know, routers can implement a different network layer protocol. No matter what kind of network protocols that you are implementing, they need to have the packet header there. Okay, inside your packet header, there is a routing information. Okay, they have an IP address inside your header, and that IP address can determine how to route. Okay, then your router will have a routing table to check how to exit and so on. So from this question, from this slide, just wanted to show you that the segment header over here under your transport layer passing down to the network layer have been added in the IP header over this side. So the network layer will do the encapsulation, transport layer also will do the encapsulation, included your data link layer. Okay, data link layer also will do the encapsulation. Therefore, I always say encapsulation, this process is not only performed at one layer, they are performed at different layer, and they are going to do a different process. They're adding an additional information that needed for each of the layer used by each type of protocol. So I did mention this, and important you need to understand encapsulation process. Okay. So now, next thing over here, the talk about the characteristics of IP address. So the characteristic over here, you feel that IP address protocol, this all here have three characteristics: connectionless, best effort, and media independent. Conclusion, okay, conclusion that before I'm going to explain to you. The conclusion from this, why this IP address have this characteristic is because other layer are take part, other layer are provide the function for it. Therefore, they have this kind of characteristic. What I'm saying, what does this mean? So he said that under IPv4 IP address, not only IPv4, IPv6 also, they have the same characteristic. So under your characteristic is connectionless, best effort, and media independent. So under here, he said that connectionless is mean that no connection was no connection with the destination is established before sending the data packet. Okay, connectionless. What does this mean? Okay, it means that when the packet are sending from the source to the destination, there is no permanent connection has been established before the data are sending under the layer, network layer for the protocol, internet protocol. Okay, so you said, look like not same. Okay, pay attention. You will say that, Mitchell, impossible. When I bank in now, when we using the public bank, log into the e-banking. So the connection definitely is established with the server. Then my money that I wanted to transfer from my account, the transaction that I posted, the transaction that I sending over to the server is secure. That's why my PC and the server must be have a connection to be established. Okay, at that moment, so my transaction can be secure to be passing, to be stored back to the server. Yes, from that condition, from that example, yes, we need to establish the condition, we need to establish the connection before sending the data between your server and your device. But the establish the connection is not done at the internet protocol. Okay, to establish the connection is performed by the transport layer. Okay, transport layer, the protocol stand for TCP. The protocol stand for transmission control protocol. This protocol is the protocol that establish the connection. Okay, under the transport layer. Okay, he will establish the connection. Okay, he will using a three-way handshaking, okay, to establish the connection. So therefore, your internet protocol no need to consider the connection to be established. Okay, under the network layer, they have this characteristic called connectionless. So it means that from one router, just like just now you saw this example. Okay, this one. So from this PC, this is a PCA. Let's say this one is a server lah. Quote you the example. So from that moment here, actually is your transport layer will establish the connection. He using a TCP to establish the connection. From the network layer here, he no need to establish the connection because under the network layer, remember, router is covered until these three layers. If you're going to ask the router to establish the connection, because router is not covered transport layer, router not cover the transport layer. So router is covered until physical data link and network layer. So that's why if you're going to say that router, why not router going to establish the connection? It means that the router need to fix the line. Okay, this line, don't use this line. We're going to use by the PCA go to for the server. I mean that, from here, then at the end you reach here. Okay, So for example, it means that you are occupied, you allow the device to occupy the path. Okay, you establish the connection, it means that the rest of the device cannot send data already. Get what I mean? So therefore, the connection is established by the transport layer, not at the network layer. This is one of the justification on that. Okay, so that's why they said that the IP have this connectionless, so they no need to establish with the destination device before he's sending the data. Actually, he established by the TCP. Okay, so then the IP, the IP, this protocol, they will provide very low overhead. It means that the header here, the header size here, he give you the size of this header is very low. Okay, and reason is they don't want to carry so big header information, okay, to passing from one router to another one router. Okay, the data pass from over a network. So they want to reduce the overhead. First thing is easily transfer your data faster. Processing of your header is easily, because each of the router, you think about that, each of the router, he will going to interpret, he will going to do the de-encapsulation, checking the router, the header information, then determine the routing, where to route, and so on. So each of these router will going to interpret the router, then do the de-encapsulation. If the header is very large, it means that you will going to process really a lot of the process. So therefore, over here, he said that your header will be very low, and without the IP packet is sent to the destination without prior establish the connection. So they also did not design to do a tracking and managing the flow of the packet. Reason is you can see that when the data are passing from one router to another, you have a small packet. You have a different packet. 1, 2, 3, because segment passing back to the packet to become encapsulate, become a packet. So this packet are sending over the router using a different path. Maybe the packet 1, 2 are sent from here, 3, 4 are sent from here. So they are using different path. So the router itself cannot able to determine whether the packet is lost or not at that moment, because different packet can use different paths to send. So this is the reason why the internet protocol is not designed to do a tracking and manage the flow of the packet. That's why it's the best effort to deliver your data. Best effort to deliver data. So to ensure the data to be arrived to your destinations and to manage the flow of your data to be received by the destination is performed by the TCP. So this function will perform by the TCP. And the media independent, under the internet protocol, they do not care about what kind of cable you've been used and so on. Because media independent, who are the one who control the media? Is the data link layer. Data link layer are the one who going to think about the media access, how to do a media access, and also media access. That's why all these functions, certain functions are, these functions is performed by other layers. That's why your IP protocol have this kind of characteristic. So this will be the, we're going to explain in more detail in coming replacement class, additional class on next week, okay, talking about the protocol. And next week, I will finish this chapter number 6 and also chapter number 9, okay? So don't worry, chapter 6 and 9, this chapter is just wanted to cover about the packet only. So I know that it's time to be stopped, 10 o'clock already. So anyone just wanted to come in. I think he using the wrong someone. Okay. Okay, I know that you have a class and so on. So make sure you have a form over here to take the attendance. So 90 something. You can go already. If you no question to ask, you can go already. I wait for you for another 2 minutes. Anyone wanted to pose a question? I'm stop recording. Anyone wanted to post your question? Okay, no question, fine. Okay, no questions. So I'm stopped here. So thank you for attending my class. So thanks. Okay. Thanks. Bye bye. Bye. So next week, next week got 4-hour classes. Come to my class. Thank you.